Hello everyone, silhang here with another video. This time it's a little different video. It's not going to be a guide for any build. It's going to be a video about
4
areas. The game I think needs to be improved as soon as possible, so the game can be more appealing and more enjoyable to many of us, and maybe bring a lot of players back, because we love the game and we want the game to prosper. So let's go into the game and let's start with the first thing, which I think is necessary to fix properly and make it like very appealing and manageable, is quality of life in the whole menu system. Starting with the library, we need to be able to find cards which we don't have. All the cards available, but I mean in the game, even if we didn't load the cards, I mean. At the same time, we should be able to search, like proper filtering, search options, and for example, the whole library should be able to show us like where to get the cards. So for example, when I click on Vicious Hunger, it would tell me droppable anywhere on the in the game, or Mystic Studies, or whatever reward from something, or mission reward or something like that. Definitely this would be the first thing of the quality of life. Another thing would be loadouts, and generally loadouts and deck slots. We are starting with 2 loadout slots and 2 deck slots. That's incredible little for a card game kind of based building, because we want to test, we want to have multiple decks, we want to have multiple stuff, and every time changing from 2 builds, it's no sense. And having it in a store, okay, that's one thing. We want to have it maybe in a microtransaction. Not really sure if it's a good idea. But for example, I have 6 classes unlocked, and I have only 2 loadouts for 6 classes. So one of the suggestions could be, we start with 2 for 1 class, and every next class we unlock, we get also 1 loadout slot and 1 deck slot. That would be amazing. And then if we want more, it could be MTX. Another thing, artifacts and equipments, same, searching based, filtering based on, for example, I'm looking for sorcery potency, I don't know, I click and it will filter everything with sorcery potency. Creature potency, some filtering, looking for specific stuff than just scrolling here and looking where it is, because it's the order of the artifacts is getting mixed and so on. It's getting crazy. For equipment, same what is for artifacts suggested, right? Being able to look for specific things, what they are giving, like spark recharge, and then it shows me all the list of all the items for the spark recharge. Then just going through this all this list again and again. Second thing which I think needs to be definitely changed, is the reputation system. How does it work, and what rewards is it giving to us? So I think this is very, very unappealing, especially for many people which like to build, which like to get things fast, spend their time in the game. We have kept a possibility to get reputation weekly. It's like 10 reputation weekly from skirmishes, and 1 up to 2 daily quests per day, which is very low if we want to get interesting things which are kind of build defining. So for example, we have almost everything in library what is zombie related, but the best zombie things are hidden in the high level reputation cap, and it can take ages. So my big suggestion for this would be make all of these rewards lootable drops in the specific region overworld skirmishes, and keep the caps, put here cosmetics. Every region they have a specific look of friendly faction. Put here cosmetics which would help us look like that friendly faction if you would be like willing to combine Benalia, Gavoni, Shield, Tazim or Tolaria look. There is like cool Gitu things or Tolarian things, or I don't know, something like that. And at the same time it would incentivize people to go into skirmishes more, to hunt for these cool things instead of waiting and hoping to go over cap and block us from theory crafting, building, etc. Another thing would be the caps in general. Caps like let's say caps like planar mana, chromatic mana, echoes and everything. Especially Ether also. I think for a good start, maybe for a test, would be just to double it or completely remove it. Caps are literally not good idea in such game. In ARPGs, people are literally willing to spend a ridiculous amount of grinding. We love the ARPGs because we want to grind, we want to play. We don't want to be blocked behind caps. Or made the caps the way that they need to be really hard to get. 15,000 weekly cap. Some people are able to do it in first day. And I think them, Cryptic as a developers, they want people to keep playing it on daily basis to get the resources, to keep progressing and go further. Same for the Ether. I think 50,000 per day is a joke. Because at some point there are things which are asking from us 150,000 per upgrade. So we need like 3 days of logging in to be able to progress in the game. That doesn't really feel appealing or rewarding to do 3 days of login, unlock, upgrade something and then play. And then again 3 days of logging in and so on. So this way I think it would be amazing. I heard they're already looking at the cap, so we'll see. Minimum I feel like minimum double or totally remove. Same for the chromatic mana. I don't see a reason to have the cap here. We are getting very little numbers. Even if it would go up, they have like 750, 1,500 of this and that. If we are kept on 3,000, how many cap things we are losing when we are playing more than they thought that we will play. Also, there is a thing that if we are kept, we are exchanging for gold only, for example, planar mana. But there are things like artifact shards. They are not exchanging to gold. Why? It could be too. They are also kept. Maybe that cap should be also raised, at least twice bigger, because 1,000 for common and uncommon, and I think rare 2, and then 100 for the mythic. That's kind of, I don't know, doesn't feel right. Doesn't feel right there. Third thing, which I think is very important, is the end game. So for example, what you guys can see here, this is the end game, what we as a very high level gameplay, highest level gameplay, they said, the developer said, master mission, 3-tier freeze, spawning endlessly, grinding one spot. We as an ARPG players, we want endless grind farming, but we want to be moving. Create an endless farming location where further you get, more difficult it gets, and more rewards we get, more rewarding and more action packed. Because at this point we just farm the cap, on the highest possible difficulty the game is able to give us. We are like super static, and it lose the fun factor, right? Oh, as a part of the revamp of the Endgame, I mention, very important mention. In the overworld, there are very little rewards for bosses in general, not only overworld actually, even mission bosses and overworld bosses. They just feel like an elite unit with maybe 1 or 2 more mods, easy to kill, low reward. So for example, skirmishes in overworld, you need to do a lot of skirmishes, people on the map, and then there is something called echo of something. Every region has this echo boss, and when you go there and we kill it, reward is underwhelming and it's not necessary. And like the main reward there is like Orb of Shadows and very little of something else. So I think as a part of increasing the difficulty and endgame would be increasing also difficulty of the whole boss system. Don't make them just another legendary with 1 more mod, make them more appealing to fight, more harder to defeat, and at the same time we will get better rewards. And when we will have better rewards and harder fights, people will look up to it to defeat, even though at start it could be feeling like it's hard to defeat. Once we defeat, the satisfaction from reward will be amazing. It was very underwhelming for me when I finally defeated, when I was leveling the Echo boss, and I got this Orb of Shadows, which looked, okay, it sounds cool. I'm going to my realm, and it's giving me very unnecessary amount of things which I would be anyway able to farm on other spot. So bosses could be dropping maybe boss specific loot, but they need to be made harder. So that would be the third thing. The fourth thing, which I really think this game needs to attend properly, is issue with creatures. Tune up the creature damage, tune up the creature mechanics. They are super scuffed at the moment. They are literally unplayable unless they are the creatures from Artifact Proc. Only Artifact Proc actually. Sorceries are doing so much more damage, so you always will want to use sorceries, even though the game is giving us way more potency artifacts, creature potency, creature days, creature health, creature something. Even the equipment is way more oriented for buffing creatures, but creatures are literally so weak unless they are kind of, I don't know, standing out of the row. Like few of them. There is like derpy Griffin hitting for 1 million with special attack and 500,000 with auto attack, and then there you have zombies which are hitting for 15k. And when you invest all your gear to your zombie build, instead of 15k they do 18k per hit. If you have 100 of them, if you manage to do that, they are colliding, their AI is weird, they are not aggressive. You need to do stuff to make them aggressive. They should be always on aggressive mode. Smarter targeting and positioning. I don't know, maybe look for the inspiration in Path of Exile. There are huge minion builds where you can have like 100 minions, which are not only tokens, limited time, but they're all the time alive. And everything is destroying everything, and it's smart, and it's very cool to have such minion build, other than just having a mindless derpy horde running around you and doing weird things. So yeah, the second thing which I think is weird for me is the creature points. Why there is a limit of creature points? Why we cannot make like full creature deck? Why cannot we make like maybe 10 creatures and 2 spells to support it? I cannot imagine, for example, the reason behind that. Balancing wise, maybe hard to say. Creatures are weak. Maybe if we could make better combination of creatures, we should be able to literally make better builds if we would have no limit on creatures, and we will be able to create better combination, better tribe creatures. So for example, we can say the zombies are kind of nicely designed. There is Infector, there is Overseer, there is more zombies, and then you can do some artifacts for zombies, and then you have everything. Everyone is boosting something. You can have mutation, combination, very nice combination. But when you check on elves, for example, you have a few elves and they're like literal looking like Pepegas. One is just giving mana and one is just there for buffing. But if you would want to make elf tribe, you cannot, because we have not enough elf creatures. So it would be way better to see more of the same types to be able to create a specific tribe. For example, in green we have spider cards, we have sap-rolling cards, we have a little of wolf, but we have like a little of everything. So it's obvious that in future we will be getting way more cards, but I think as a part of the tune-up of the creature system, they need to be viable. At the start, when I started to play this game, I thought that it's going to be my initial thought, but it's just my opinion, obviously. We are going to be mainly summoners, because that's what planewalkers do in Magic the Gathering, right? You summon stuff and you complement it with sorcery, with some few exceptions of combo decks or blue mana decks. But even their blue mana decks are pardon. So yeah, for example, even the blue mana decks are using some minions. But yeah, that's the whole point of tuning up the creatures, to make sure that they are more viable. Because at this moment they are literally useless unless they are from artifacts. So for example, dragons or demons from Bloodsoaked Altar and dragons from Dragonic Flags. Or there is one equipment for Elemental 6/1, Etar of Calamity. It looks like these minions work kind of better. Smarter, stronger, doing proper damage, not crazy damage. They are viable. Everything else, undertuned, needs to be needs to be checked. Some overhaul on all the creature system, and yeah, I think the game would prosper from that. So yeah, that would be 5 areas to improve, and my ideas or my point of views and opinions. If you guys have something interesting what you think the game needs, or if you agree, or anything in general, make sure to comment below on the YouTube. I also stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/silhang, Monday to Friday, occasionally on weekends. And yeah, if you liked the video, make sure to like or subscribe, and see you in the next video, or see you on the stream. Bye.